Why the judgment in Indonesia, you ask? Slavery was organized there. The reason why the Most High haven't judged America completely is because the Negroes are still in the land.
Now I have to warn you, some of what you're about to see is disturbing. This dramatic video shows the very moment that a concert was cut short. And the band on stage keeps playing, unaware of the tsunami about to strike. CNN's Ivan Watson joins us now from Hong Kong. We've been seeing a lot of disturbing images. Ivan, what can you tell us?
All right. Well, we believe that the cause of the earthquake, or at least Indonesian authorities say, not the earthquake, rather, the tsunami that struck at about 9:27 p.m. on Saturday night during the Christmas holiday in Indonesia, when these beach resort areas in the western island of Java are packed with Indonesian tourists, that this was caused by a volcanic eruption causing an underwater landslide. And Indonesian authorities are pointing to Anak Krakatau. That is translated as the child of Krakatoa, the volcano that famously erupted in 1883 with almost cataclysmic results, killing tens of thousands of people and actually lowering global temperatures due to the massive ash cloud in 83. A smaller island grew up in the wake of that catastrophe, and that is what erupted on Saturday. Indonesian authorities say it has been erupting for months, but perhaps due to the fact that there was a full moon and high tide that contributed to this tsunami that flooded into these resort areas of Western Java. Now with a death toll up to 168 people, 745 people injured, dozens of people missing, and hundreds of houses destroyed. Now, this video that you showed before, amateur video of an Indonesian band known as 17, popular with young people in Indonesia, performing at what we believe was an state electric company celebration. The singer of the band has since posted on Instagram, and we're going to translate that for you. So you give a listen to one of the victims of this deadly wave. Take a listen.
I just want to say that our bass player, Bani, and our manager, Oki Wijaya, passed away. I also ask for prayers for my friend Andy, Herman, and Ujang, who is still missing at this time. Also, my dear wife is still missing. The rest of us have broken bones, minor injuries, including me, but we are fine. Please pray that we can find Andy, Herman, and Ujang, and my wife.
Cyril, the Indonesian President Joko Widodo has put out statements about this, expressing condolences, ordering emergency response teams and heavy equipment to the scene. We've spoken with a spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross, who says that some of one of the main roads to the area, and this is just about 3 hours drive west of the Indonesian capital, so a popular place for weekend and day trips, seems to have been damaged by the storm. One of the descriptions of the tsunami is that the wave might have been at a height of about 1.5 meters and could have gone as far as 500 meters inland, and thus the cause of all of this destruction and death.
Yeah, and that explains the very high death toll, which stands at 168 people killed this hour. Ivan Watson, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again. I want to talk to meteorologist Derek Van Dam now. And Derek, we heard Ivan told us about the volcano that was the cause of all this. What can you tell us?
Yeah, you know, Cyril, that sounds counterintuitive, I'm sure, to our viewers hearing that a volcano triggered a tsunami. Normally we think of tsunamis being triggered by earthquakes, by landslides, even by the shifting of tectonic plates. But this particular time, it was because of a volcano. So how can that happen? Get to the video, roll it behind me if you don't mind, please. And this is the volcano, the Krakatoa volcano. It erupted at 9:03 p.m., according to seismologists, and it was 24 minutes later that the wave struck the islands of Sumatra and into Java. Remember, a tsunami is formed by the displacement of water. So what took place here is actually a landslide underneath the surface of the water caused by this volcano that displaced the water around it and sent the wave, almost a shock wave in a sense, but a wall of water, onto the shorelines of these two islands. Get back to my graphics. I want to show you something rather interesting. This is the satellite imagery. There's the Krakatoa volcano, and that plume of almost red and orange that you see there, that is actually the eruption and the moment that it took place, 9:03 p.m. local time. It caused a lot of confusion as well because it was nighttime when the tsunami struck these areas. And of course, as we roll into the afternoon hours, local time, into Indonesia at the moment, Jakarta is at about 2:05 p.m. in the afternoon. They are getting a first sense of really the destruction caused by this. Well, we've had several hours now of daylight to actually see this, but here's a closer perspective of Krakatoa. Again, Ivan was talking about how this erupted back in 1883. It killed over 36,000 people. Here is an explanation of what happened. The volcano erupts, a landslide, almost this displacement of.
Why the judgment in Indonesia? January 1668. Francisco Bingo, slave or merchant, Jan Grestite, hangs himself. This Francisco was one of the many who chose death over unbearable slavery in the Dutch East Indies. From the early days of the Dutch East India Company to the end of the colonial rule, Bay follows the trial of human trafficking in the Dutch colonies in the East. The colonial slavery took many forms. There were house slaves, child slaves, sex slaves, artisans, but also slaves on the plantation and spice gardens. Slaves were humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Reggie Bay writes the history of slavery in Indonesia because it is a misconception to think that slavery in the colonies was limited to the West. And how is it that our image of it is so distorted, as if in the East no real slavery existed?
Powerful disasters, though the tsunami took experts by surprise. In this video, a man is shouting to people that it's coming. Then the wall of water.
It's unusual for an earthquake, which generates a tsunami, to be so close to land, so the shaking destroys towns and buildings. It was a double whammy.
This is Wake Up Israel News with Chris Judah. See you guys next time. Shalom.
Hopped on the train, I saw my man, he had a L in his hand. Hide it from the beast, at least I catch a buzz before I hit my block. I take a mega hit from the on the good ship. Lollipop, move the hop, so I can put the hip in the grip. Everybody slips so I can take a trip to